It's NBC 26 at 10. A 4-year-old boy is injured from a parade accident involving a semi-trailer. Plus, an unsealed warrant shows spying on a former Trump aide. See what the president has to say. And EAA AirVenture kicks off tomorrow. We head to Oshkosh to give you a preview. A crash at the Denmark Lions Parade leaves a boy in the hospital with what authorities are calling a significant leg injury. NBC 26's Max Grossfeld has the story.
This video shows the moments just after a 4-year-old boy got his leg caught under the back wheels of a semi-trailer chasing down parade candy.
What happened today was not right, and they should have more people, sustain the area, more block-offs.
Along the streets of Denmark, you can still see candy wrappers thrown from the parade. Some parents we've talked to say they're concerned that throwing out the candy may be a safety hazard.
Because I know they run in for the candies and, don't look.
I think there should be more people there, saying, hey, slow down. There's no reason for a 4-year-old to get hit.
People just a few blocks away say they didn't hear anything about the crash until after the parade was over.
No sirens, nothing. Just a pause in the parade, and everything resumed up again.
That's in part
Good thing I know we had paramedics in the parade.
because County Rescue was participating in the parade and quickly took the boy to the hospital.
I wish the best for the boy.
Deputies say they're investigating the crash, but don't believe alcohol or drugs played a part. In Denmark, Max Grossfeld, NBC 26.
And Marinette County officials have identified the man who they say died after crashing into a tree as 35-year-old Francisco Escobar. Officials say it happened after 2 in the morning yesterday on County Trunk P just west of US 141 in the town of Beaver. Right now, his name is not being released. The county says this is the 5th traffic fatality they've seen this year. Well, looks like that rain has finally come to an end and sunshine is on its way. Let's check with meteorologist Gino Recchia. Gino.
Yeah, Mo, we started off a little gloomy today, but then the sunshine came out. Now, right now, there are just a few isolated rain showers way off to the west of us, so it's not impacting the immediate NBC 26 viewing area. And we should remain rather dry for the rest of the evening and overnight period. Temperatures cooling down into the lower 60s under mostly clear skies. And guess what? We're starting off on a sunny note this upcoming week. That full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Gino, thank you. And we head to the Trump administration now. Critics of the president continue to attack his performance in Helsinki after inviting Vladimir Putin to Washington before the midterm elections. Nick Caraval has more.
An early morning tweet storm set off by an overnight development. Heavily redacted court documents detailing why former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page was under surveillance by the FBI. The president calling it illegal spying on his campaign, saying the Department of Justice and the FBI misled the courts, calling it a rigged witch hunt and a scam. Page himself pushing back against the allegations that he conspired with the Russians.
No, I've never been an agent of the foreign power by any stretch of the imagination.
But even some in the president's own party say the documents don't show misconduct in the investigation.
I don't think it's part of any broader plot. The only plot here is the plot to interfere in our elections by the Russians.
And ongoing criticism of President Trump's meeting with Vladimir Putin. Democrats still want to know what the two leaders talked about for more than 2 hours during a private meeting and question the president's loyalties.
The reality is we have no idea what this our president agreed to. That's an asymmetric advantage for the Kremlin because they do. The Kremlin intelligence agents know exactly what took place in that meeting.
The fallout continues while the administration plans for the next summit, this time on the president's home turf, just before Americans head to the polls in 2018. Nikki Carvajal, NBC News, Washington.
And on to some local news. A local group is still fighting to keep the Legion Pool in De Pere, despite the Common Council voting to close it down because of its condition. The Save Legion Pool group met to discuss what they'll present to the city at some upcoming meetings. City officials say money used to keep the pool open will go towards an aquatic center instead. Now, group members say it would be unsafe for the kids in the area if they have to walk to the other pool on the city's west side.
But what we want to do is really have factual information we can present. We want to be very organized and structured when we approach the Parks Board and City Council and letting them know what we're finding and what the community really wants.
And the De Pere Parks Board will have a meeting on August 16th. And tomorrow, pilots and aviation enthusiasts from all over will pack Oshkosh for the annual EAA AirVenture 2018. Leaders say last year the event brought more than $170 million to the area, and more than 500,000 people also attended. They say it also takes hundreds of workers and thousands of volunteers to put on a good show. It starts tomorrow morning at 6. And staying in Oshkosh, it was also a special day for one airman. Volunteers flew Tuskegee Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy from his Florida home to Oshkosh this weekend in what's called a Millennium Phenom.
It's just a wonderful airplane. The first time I've been in this type of airplane. It's so comfortable in there. And it's interesting watching the pilots on their displays and whatnot.
And Hardy served in the skies of a European theater in World War II. The aircraft will be on display at the Boeing Square during EAA. And it was also a good day for car enthusiasts as plenty got to enjoy the annual Appleton Old Car Show and Swap Meets. It was hosted by the Appleton Fox Cities Kiwanis Club. The show is one of the largest free ones in the country. It draws over 15,000 people and has more than 1,000 cars on display. It's also come a very long way. The first show started back in 1976 with just a little more than 300 cars.
It's a very family-oriented type event, and we're very happy to be able to put on a show like this for the community. It raises money for the community. The Kiwanis takes the profits from the food and beverages and puts it back into the community.
An episode of My Classic Car TV show was also taped here, which will air on NBC Sports Network. And still ahead on NBC 26 at 10, becoming a millionaire overnight isn't easy, but one woman managed to somehow do it. See how when we come back. But first, what's the weather going to look like for the work week? Your forecast when we come back.
And now, your NBC 26 Storm Shield forecast with meteorologist Gino Recchia.
It's a mild night across northeast Wisconsin with temperatures in the mid and upper 60s across the board. 68 in Green Bay, 69 in Kewaunee, and 66 in Manitowoc. Winds have really subsided from just a couple of hours ago, where we were seeing winds sustained at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now a lot of us seeing quite a couple of goose eggs, and we should be seeing at most at 5 miles per hour out of the north and northwest. But the moisture is still remaining in place. We do have dew points anywhere from the lower 60s to the mid and upper 60s, but Sister Bay a little bit more dry with a dew point of 58. Now, all this moisture, it makes sense because since Thursday, we have had periodic rain showers across the area, the heaviest of which were occurring out towards Rotoma, where anywhere from about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall fell throughout that period. Now down towards Sheboygan, about an inch. Towards Kewaunee, about 1.2 inches, but a few areas only picked up about 1/4 of an inch to about 1/2 inch of rainfall. Right now, radar is showing a few isolated showers off towards our west near Stevens Point, and that should remain away from our area as high pressure really starts to work its way in. You see a few showers and thunderstorms also off towards our west. There's a cold front making its way eastward, but right now for the next few days, high pressure will bring us sunshine both tomorrow and Tuesday. Now, as this cold front moves through, this is the first of 2 cold fronts that'll move into the area. This one will actually lose its moisture by the time it reaches here, so perhaps just a few clouds associated with it. Then a secondary cold front will come in on Wednesday night, and that could spark off a few isolated showers or storms. For tonight, though, staying mostly quiet, mostly clear skies, and for tomorrow, staying mostly sunny as well. We'll have a very nice start to the work week as we expect temperatures to rise up into the upper 70s and lower 80s, a little cooler by the lakeshore because of that northeast wind flow. For tonight, cooling down to 62 degrees under mostly clear skies, very light winds out of the north and northwest, 5 miles per hour. For tomorrow, warming up to 82. Like I mentioned, a little bit cooler lakeside because of that northeast wind flow. Perhaps you're starting off the work week with an eventful day with the EAA AirVenture forecast. Temperatures will be rising up into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And the 7-day forecast looks like the warmest day will be on Tuesday, high of 84. Then we do cool back down into the mid and lower 70s by the end of the work week. And also Thursday, the first Packers practice of the season. So that'll be exciting as well.
Lots of excitement going this weekend. If you can't make it on Wednesday, there's plenty of other days to do so since the weather's much nicer.
You got it right.
All right, take it while you can. Thank you so much, Gino. It's still ahead on NBC 26 at 10. What if you, let's say, just randomly check your bank account and saw more than $1 million in it? That was the case for one woman. See what happens next when we come back. Welcome back. What would you do if you had $1 million show up in your bank account just randomly? Well, that happened to one woman in Boston. Malcolm Johnson picks up the story from here.
Ellen Fleming has got a story to tell.
It's a funny story, and it's definitely something I feel like taken in stride to say, like, I was a millionaire at one point.
A millionaire. And what you might not believe you heard, Ellen couldn't believe she saw.
I checked the account, and it had over $1 million in it.
A banker with TD Ameritrade called her earlier this week, telling Ellen her 7-figure check had been deposited.
My first thought was, oh, well, I've never seen that before. And then it was, I really hope this is mine. And the third thought was, there's just no way this is mine.
And it wasn't. The bank just had the wrong Ellen Fleming. But for 10 long minutes before reporting the mistake, Ellen was a millionaire.
The main thing I was thinking when I saw that was like, I could probably like leave work early today, go home. I don't know, like maybe get like a Starbucks coffee.
She's had fun with it all, calling herself a one-time millionaire on Twitter and posting this exchange with her dad.
I remember where I was when I got my first real paycheck and like saw a comma for the first time. So like seeing a comma, 2 commas was like, oh my God.
Though she momentarily thought to keep the money, she says there's no way she could have.
I mean, I could never keep that money. I see like a dollar bill on the ground and I feel like I can't even pick it up sometimes. I mean, the Irish guilt is real.
And that's going to do it for me tonight. But so, whoa.
We're not done with
First
the show
the birthday,
just yet.
and now we got a different.
This was unexpected here.
Well,
oh boy, I'm going to go this
you
side.
out there who might not know, this is Mo's last weekend anchoring here at NBC 26. He's headed to our sister station in Nashville,
My favorite
Tennessee.
cake too.
I personally wanted to do shots of Tennessee whiskey out here, but we decided that might not be appropriate for live TV.
Yeah,
A cookie cake instead.
This will suffice. This is my favorite type. I always accept cookie cakes, no matter what the occasion. Thanks,
Gino wanted
guys.
to pie you in the face with it too.
No, we
but-
can't do
See,
that. Dude,
he
just
wanted
bought
to
the
do it, but then
suit,
he
Gino.
throws me under the boat.
Well, hey, in all honesty, we wish you nothing but the best
Thanks,
of luck
guys.
out there.
All three of you.
It was a lot of fun
All
working
three of you
with
working. It's bittersweet, but excited for what's next. And thank you so much. We're gonna miss all of you too. But Chris Barrier is gonna be here still after the break. Stick around.
Yeah, we're gonna eat some of this first.
Yeah. Well, no.